What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today is a little bit of Twosun love. This here is the Twosun TS 221 in carbon fiber. This is an existing model that Twosun released maybe 6 months ago, something like that. It is a design done by Jelly Jerry, and it's a really cool little slip joint. They have changed the materials up here, but otherwise the dimensions and stuff are the same. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, but we will do a few size comparisons. Actually, let me turn it this way. Yeah, doesn't want to sit very well like that with the pocket clip. And we'll set it right there. Alright, first off, we'll line this up with the Hogue Deca. And here it is with the Hogue RSK. So you can see we're talking about a smaller knife for sure. Here it is with the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. Overall, pretty standard for a small size EDC. Here it is with the Spyderco Sage. This one is the Sage 2, I think. The liner lock one. So, and then what else do I have laying around here? Oh, here's another Twosun model. This is the Twosun TS 232. And here it is with the Kershaw Knockout. This one happens to be the M390 carbon fiber variant. So, you can see there. I think that gives a pretty good size representation. So, real quick, I will throw links up in the description where you can get both of these knives. The 232 happens to be one of my favorites, this frame lock flipper. If you haven't checked out the video on that, it's definitely a cool one for sure. I really like the Barlow design. I've done some custom anodizing on this one, but really, really cool EDC knife. So, like I said, link in the description for this one. It's a really cool. They also offer it with a different blade shape as well. I'll throw links up for both of them. All right, talking about the 221 here, you can see that we are rocking M390 blade steel. This is full carbon fiber handle scales. You do have a titanium back spring for this slip joint, and it's a, doubles as the backspacer. It runs the entire length and then wraps around to right here. You do have a milled titanium pocket clip, and it also has some kind of milled machining lines on there. They do provide a little bit of traction, so when you're pulling this out of the pocket, you do get some positive engagement there. But I also think that the milling lines, serve a bit of an aesthetic purpose. Dimensions. Overall length on this one is 6.92 inches. You got a handle length of 3.97 and a blade length of 2.95. So any of the areas where you have, non-locking and 3-inch blade length, this is going to be perfect for those areas. Handle thickness is 488 thousandths, and blade stock thickness is 155 thousandths, or just under 4 millimeters. Behind the edge is a very nice and consistent 15 thousandths all the way out to the tip. So this is a pretty good slicer. Blade stock is a little bit thicker than I would like to see it on a knife of this size, but they did grind it very well. You are looking at a full flat ground blade here, and you've got this really cool looking fuller with some bloodletting holes there. So it gives it a really cool look. This is a very quote-unquote gentleman carry knife, and then you have this fuller with the holes through it, give it just a little bit of tactical flair, if you will. But I think it looks nice. The fuller, it makes for just the perfect air. You can really grab anywhere you want to be able to open this thing. But because it is a traditional slip joint, it is a two-handed opener. You can close it one-handed, but I might be able... Yeah, I can probably get it rolling it out one hand, but the back spring is quite tight on this. you can see here you do have a very, very, distinct half stop going on here. So, yeah, it works well. The action on it is very nice. The pull is very consistent. It's neither too tough or too weak. I really feel like they just did a really good job here on the operation and the action on this knife. So in the closed position, you can see it's not going to take up a tremendous amount of pocket space. Pocket clip is reversible for right or left tip up carry only. And I really like seeing these modern traditionals, upgrading the materials, upgrading the design, or, well, however you want to look at that, whether it's an upgrade or not. But, a more modern design, but old school techniques and build methods here. And that's pretty cool. So the knife overall, I think, is just a really good representation of a modern traditional. Let's get into the weight here. Open up my scale. So I went back and I looked, because I did, on the original 221, I did a video on that. I had that knife for a while. Actually gave that to another YouTuber, Mr. BJ Hill. So if you want to see that on his channel, I think he's got a couple videos of it. But the older one, the complete titanium model, it weighed in at 3.564 ounces. So we'll see how this carbon fiber compares. So almost a full ounce lighter. So 2.59 ounces. And, just under 3 inches of blade, M390. This is kind of the complete package. Super lightweight. And the carbon fiber on this thing is really, really beautiful. It is, some people call it fat carbon, but it's the way that it's layered and the way it's machined. The scales are contoured, so it's very, very comfortable in hand, but it gives some really nice visual interest to the carbon fiber. The light really reflects well off of it. It's a pretty knife, that's for sure. In the hand, it does have a forward choil area. It does work. You are really, really close to the blade, but you have this kind of, I'm not going to call this a real harpoon, but you do have just the littlest bit of poon there that you can get your thumb on. It works well. You can push it down, although it does take quite a bit of pressure to do so. But all in all, I think it's a really good package. For the money, it looks like these are selling for anywhere from, somewhere around the $90 range up to $130 or $40, kind of depending. You can find these in multiple areas. There are a few U.S. dealers for them. White Mountain Knives is selling Twosun. There's also Williams Cutlery out in California. You can check them out on Instagram. And then, of course, eBay, as well as AliExpress. They have a Twosun store there. I don't really do anything on that website. So there are multiple avenues. And then, of course, on Amazon as well, you can find a bunch of these. So this one's a brand new one. I don't know that it's out in all those locations yet, but I'm sure it will be very soon. Like I said, the original 221 was a real popular model, and now that it's lighter with this beautiful carbon fiber, I'm sure this one's going to be very popular as well. Jelly Jerry's done some interesting designs with Twosun, as well as concept knives, and I think he's got a few Kubi designs as well. But a really cool newer designer, and he's doing a lot of stuff. He's constantly putting stuff up on Instagram, so yeah, got a lot going on, so you can check him out there. Let's get into this thing. We'll pop this apart just to see the construction on this, and true to form, all the screws on Twosuns are always T8, and this is no exception. Like I said, the pocket clip is reversible, which is really great. On a lot of modern traditionals, if they do have a pocket clip, it is generally not reversible. So I really like to see that. most of you guys know that I am left-handed. So, yeah, I enjoy seeing a little love for the lefties. So let's see if we can pop this apart without too much trouble. Sometimes slip joints can be a little bit of a bear because you got all the tension built up in the system with the back spring. Come on. There we go. All right. So you can see here we're just riding on phosphor bronze washers. You can see the full titanium back spring. You got these two supporting screws and then a pin right here. So really all of your spring potential is from this point to right here. There is a stop pin right there. You can see the back spring does not actually touch that. Let's see if we can actuate this. So you can see what makes up the half stop right there. And then if I go fully closed, yeah, the blade does actually hit that stop pin. Boy, I'm sure that stop pin is getting pushed off a little bit because the other scale's not supporting it. So you can see the cutting edge is almost touching that back spring right there. Oh, I lost one of the barrel spacers back here. So yeah, it's got a little milled pocket there in the carbon fiber for the pocket clip to sit into. And you got this little pivot collar here, which is also titanium. Really, really nicely done. I think this would be cool to do, you know, like a heat ano finish on the back spacer and on the pocket clip and kind of give it that Mokutai look against the carbon fiber. I think would be really cool, as well as the pivot collar. So you can see the pivot collar there, and the carbon fiber is really, really pretty. So yeah, really nicely done. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how they finished that on the inside, but you can see there's kind of like a little bit of sanding marks. It feels very nice and smooth. Huh. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and get this guy put back together. Make sure all this stuff is pushed down into its holes all the way. Alright. So pretty simple to pull this thing apart and do a little cleaning if you need to. That's one of the really great things about these Twosun knives. All of them are just very, very easy to disassemble. They go back together perfectly. They'll be perfectly centered. And yeah, it's signs of really nice tolerances on the machining, and the hardware is just, you know, good quality hardware. It's just well done. But I'm glad to see that shipping channels are getting back up and running with all the stuff that's going on in the world. It's nice to see things getting back to normal. I'm sure everybody is ready for that. I think I got it a little bit too tight. Let's see here. Ooh, actually I might be a little too loose. Okay. Action is good. We're looking centered. All right. So there we go. There's the new carbon fiber TS 221 Jelly Jerry design. Really cool knife. Super lightweight. Awesome little modern traditional. So if you guys are interested in this or the 232, check out the links below. And like, subscribe, do all the things. And I greatly appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time.